Okay. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. So palms together. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe. And again. Om Namo
Namo
Om
Namo Namo
Om
Namo
Gurudev Namo Ad Guru Name Jugat Guru
Sat
Name Siri Name Ad Guru Name Jugat Guru Name
Sat
Guru Name Siri Name Ad Guru Jugat and breathe. Good. And we're so happy to see Ved Bachan. Okay. Now, Aagia Pal, you texted us. Would you tell me what that is again?
I can read it if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. It says, I said, I cannot hold back the tears, asking for heart breath for our nation this morning. This great big, beautiful bill now passed. The innocent, the poor, the struggling, we will all suffer. But let's rise in love with heart breath because we must. God through us compels us to keep up and will be kept up, as Yogi Bhajan says.
Good. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, Japa Saraswati, can you tell us for our message?
Sure. Here we go.
There you go.
So please let us know if you need to leave earlier than the usual hour today, and then we'll bring you sooner. So for our meditation, we'll tune in, and then a friend remembered that Yogi Bhajan told us that in these times, 1/3 of the people will be dead, 1/3 of the people will become crazy, and 1/3 will need to hold up the rest of the people, light workers. Do you remember what Baba Siri Chand told you about your own practice to transform your own fear? Today, please use that again for your own Baba Siri Chand practice. Then, as you do, please change your fear to use the frequency of your pure love using heart breath. As we have known that our cosmic siblings and more have said that the only way to move our humans is to be compassion, love, and pure kindness. Listen to Baba Siri Chand's transformation to be you. You might use notes for your answers. 1 minute of heart pumping, and Siri Gian, is this 5 minutes for heart breath?
Yes. This is a
Okay.
This is a biggie.
Okay, good. I love the extra time in meditation.
Okay.
You know, oh,
Okay. Okay. So it says know who you are and listen to each of you. Do you all understand that?
I think so.
Okay, good. Okay, so here we go. First with heart pumping and for 1 minute, and then 5 minutes, because there were different situations. It's going from fear to love. Okay, and begin. And now, heart breath. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Slow down. Okay, Aagia Pal, how are you? Are you there?
Yeah. Well, struggling, I guess you could say. I sometimes you just gotta cry, you know. Um, so with Baba Siri Chand, so I brought to him last night. I brought to him all of my everyday self concerns about this big ugly bill, and I was really upset. I mean, like losing it upset, and so I slid into all of what I have been trying to fix in me. I slid into blame, I slid into judgment, I slid into anger, I slid into, all grief, obviously. And I, I wasn't a, I wasn't a real uh, good soldier here. And so I didn't really sleep. It's just, and of course, so anyway, what Harimandir wrote helped a lot because all night I had been going around and blame. Oh, I'm good at blaming. I've been working on that, and blaming the senator from Alaska, like, oh, so what I was saying to myself is, wow, could she think about other people in the United States, or just her people, or she wanted to make people in power happy, or she was, uh, you know, you know, fearful for her own life, or what is? There's something wrong here. I was saying to myself, what's wrong here? So, so that kept going around and around and around. And I said, if I were she, what would I have done? And I don't know the whole story and all. So anyway, I brought to Baba Siri Chand all of this, and he reminded me of a time when I was in Millis, and we said Shamrang Singh was there, and we said to him, we were upset about something, and he said, well, it was supposed to happen, and 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 I said, why? Like, I guess I wasn't that polite, but I said, why? Why? And he looked at all of us and he said, because it happened. And so Baba Siri Chan was reminding me of that. And breathe. And so that was, sort of a pivotal point in my processing of all of this. That, even this senator, uh, it wasn't really up to her, although, it seemed that way. It was supposed to happen. So then, okay, so I'll make this short. So then I get all angry at Guru. I'm like, what is going on here. I have been so naive to overlook the fact that people with power are really running the show. People, power, and money, and so I've been really naive, and now it's so coming to the fore that that's really what is going on. People with power and money are running the show. So, um, again, so I get on my own case, like, oh, you've been so naive. Wake up, wake. Okay, so I am waking up, and I don't like what I see when I wake up. And as I'm waking up, it's very, very, very difficult. And so the only thing I can do is to continue to stand up on legs that are wobbly right now. But I'm standing up and wanting, so sending heart breath, standing for love, not going, in a sense, along my merry way in my own life, doing my own thing. Can't do that anymore. So, looking for ways to contribute, ways to send love, to be love. So I asked Baba Siri Chand and Guru to use these tears to cleanse my heart and of all the negative, you know, everything I'm just like casting out a lot of crap that this is causing for me. And I'm just asking that use these tears to not sanctify me, but just clear me out. And so I can really be uh, a portal, if you will, for divine action, divine love, and also willingness to do this at my own, whatever sacrifice it takes to, in other words, do this, meaning stand up for love in whatever way that comes to me. So be open to that. Yeah.
Was there anything else?
Oh, I'm sure, but I think that's enough. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
Yeah. This is it. Because before people would say, oh, just, it would be okay, blah, blah, blah. But what you are talking about is true. But thank you, because you're really moving what you're really understanding, because really about what you're talking about the sanctified moving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so Gian Das Prem.
Satnam. Rejuvenation.
Rejuvenation?
Rejuvenation, right. So today the practice of the meditation for me was very deep, and I could feel my body. I could feel the pulse of the fluids and my heart moving along through there with the heart pumping and then into the heart breath. And it was reminding me of the growth of grass and the sun and how they work together in doing that, and the progression throughout the evolution of that process. So, and what's coming into the practice is a prayer to that, to the sun, to the water, to the sequences. There's a fire in our heart and it comes in many different colors. And what I was seeing in the meditation was how the reactions to certain actions, how we are coming to it in our own personal way, and also with this beating, the heart beating, and noticing that the life everywhere has a heart that's beating, or it has a vibration. And within that vibration, we're trying to learn how to move, I think, in this way of coming together, right? No matter the examples that we're given, there's going to be a challenge that'll come forth. And now there's billions of people, and here we are within this group of rulership and freedom, money and sharing, and then caring. And I'm just sort of repeating myself over and over here, in the ways of nature that have allowed the human to come here to do its thing. And when we notice how much power that we have within that force that has created some type of energy that allows us to stop each other from being each other. So there's a separation there that we can notice in our practice too. And this is the correlation here for me of different practices that I've been trying in the healing modalities and whatnot, and seeing where they come from the history, whether it's from an animal or the way energy moves in a cloud or what have you, with all of these things going on with us, right? 4%. We know 4% of what is with us, what that we are dealing with. So if we can,
Did you say
our knowledge when it comes down to the way that we are here as humans on this planet and our evolution, we need to go 96% more to get the evolution to become part of our moving to the next state of our actions. So are we ready to go to another planet, or are we ready to be free with what we have here? Because as it seems within the history and the archaeology, that either the people go away from the place or the place goes away from the people. And that can be the air. The air is our place, the water is our place. Who will carry the water? Are we walking? Are we looking for water? Are we hydrating ourselves enough now? This is very important for us to hydrate ourselves. And the simplicity of that, coming back to the kindness, yeah. Because as I can feel within my own vibration right now, when we get to talking, it can become emotional. And then when we come back to that 4% of the reality of what we really know, that can also be an emotional moment. And within the cycles of life, we can see how certain species react, perhaps an elephant, how they mourn, that they take time to mourn and that they share it with the people, and they actually exclaim it, like say a call. And there's been this, within this group, we've been saying a call for certain purposes, but I have noticed that within the group that somebody has mentioned that maybe a call is meant for more than that. It's meant for within the celebrations of both of the life and death, right? And just within the practice for me, coming back to the breath of that, returning, giving, returning, and expanding the breath in order to bring more healing into the body, and to notice the light that's creating and allowing for instance, my beans outside right now they're just sprouting out everywhere, and they just have these tiny, tiny sprouts that reach out and they want to go up on to the trellis or whatnot, and they're just reaching in all different directions. And you can set them free, you can guide them a little bit here and there, and for the children, our guidance of them and into these ways of the life being, you know, an evolution process amongst species, and that the humans are here too. We can come to a way of realizing that the freedom of freedom it's a responsibility. It comes to the human as a way of sort of almost an irony or a joke or a blasphemy or however you want to do it, that, you know, so nowadays there's this power of the media where, okay, there's a person that's over here doing this amazing stuff, and wow, it's just amazing how they're doing it and getting away with it, and they're the president of the United States, or they're the prime minister of Israel, they're, you know, this person over here, regardless of the labels and the names and the personalities, that we are here in the same bubble. And Waheguru to that, to us coming together, to somehow noticing the ways that we've acted before, and to come into that realization where we are at that moment. Like, you know, I mean, I know there's people that are really angry out there. I know that they've made movies about this before, about things happening, and, you know, and the actual visual things coming into that process. So, and the releasing of that and coming back into the way of seeing that mother again. It's the same thing that I think it's um, coming back to that womb process and noticing the giving of the mother and the support, you know, and our job as men to be able to say, hey, wow, is it time to take a break from fighting, from reacting in anger? And so Waheguru to the freedom of the fire in our heart and the stars that have allowed us to, you know, see at night as well through the dark. And Waheguru, and thank you so much for this opportunity and to be surrounded by such people of knowledge and wisdom with time, you know, that we're allowed to see through our different daily lives and perhaps through our dreams or our meditations, you know, other people who have been here before that have showed us ways that, you know, we're living a little bit longer now. So if we can come to terms with that freedom in that way of being able to, you know, be here a little bit longer. I'll pray to the light and then see the light. Yeah. And because I am the light, and that's the way that I'll try to move forward with handling all of this emotion here, and knowing that our 4% of being here is such a miracle. Waheguru, thank you for the time. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Harimandir. Just a minute. I had the same experience, to some extent, as Aagia Pal, because the bill that passed is so cruel and so hurting everyone. One of the things that came up late last night was a talk about the alligator Alcatraz, where they're setting up tents without any access to people's attorneys who can't get out there. It's full of mosquitoes. It's torture to the people that they are sending there. And the responsibility and the anger of people in Alaska who they haven't realized it yet, but who see that our senator's single vote would have stopped that bill. but she didn't know that she had support on her side. Um, she wasn't able to count the votes or realize that the senator from Maine and the other Republicans that voted against it, had she realized that she had support there, she would have voted differently. But this comes right after also the murder of the politicians up in Michigan, I guess it was. So retribution is very real. And our senator was feeling like she had done for her own constituency. She'd gotten special Medicaid and stamp food stamps for Alaska, but in doing that, they were the only ones that were given those reparations, and the rest of all these states weren't. Didn't have those. So huge money going into the military, huge money going into the anti-immigrants. So there's a lot to be angry about and upset about and very sad. But I've been listening to the different mystics, just like you, Siri Gian. I mean, you've been the mystic all along, and there's a whole group of people who are listening to their, you call it soul, they call it spirit guides, they call it intuition, all sorts of other things, but it's all the same. And they've been telling us that this, as someone said earlier, was going to happen. And I find it hopeful to hear that it's going to happen ahead of time rather than being faced with it as everybody else is. It just happened. If I know it's likely to happen, I can prepare myself better and look at what's going to happen in August, which should be uplifting, after we get through July, which is going to be terrible. But one of the mystics that I don't know whether she's a mystic, I don't really know what she is, but I came across her yesterday, and she talks about blind, what is it? I forgot the name all of a sudden. It's blind pain. That those people, not those people, the part of our humanity in the US, and I presume everywhere else too, are so, the pain of their ancestors, their ancestral volume of pain that have come, that they're carrying, makes them blind to reality. So people are voting against themselves, against their best interest, because they can't see the present because of the tremendous pain that is carried. And I found that very, it's something I could work with. I could understand, I could be compassionate toward. And the other thing that happened this morning, just as I was writing about that, but had just read something last night about Unitarianism, which I am a part of, that the mother church or the mother organization, Unitarian Universalist Association, has become more rigid in what they're allowing people to think or say, which was so much like what happened in 3HO, the rigidity of what one must do, and then taking advantage of it through money or through power or through control. So money, power, and control and misuse of all of those are seeming to play through all um, the elements of this morning. And somewhere they were talking about a frequency, using other language, and I don't know where I wrote it down, but yes, the frequency of forgiveness, the frequency rather than of love, but the frequency of kindness, or the frequency of compassion, or the frequency of empathy, or those that we can touch more easily as humans, seem to be helpful. Okay, that's enough.
That's a big one. Okay. So when you're talking about frequency, can you feel that in your body, in your emotion?
Well, that's the idea of the frequency of forgiveness.
Uh-huh.
You feel what forgiveness feels like, or feel what compassion feels like. And then without any judgment or expectation, you bring someone else into that frequency. And as Jyotian Devi had experienced, amazing things happen, even if you bring the worst person that you can imagine, which at the time was, oh, what's his name?
Epstein?
Yes.
Of what?
She chose to bring Epstein, what's his first name?
Sure.
Jeffrey Epstein, into that frequency. And when she did, what she experienced was all these children, hundreds, thousands, all around her saying, "Thank you. We're being heard. We appreciate being heard." And so I think in terms of MAGA and of the Omega is very specific. It could have a lot of definitions also, but those who are blinded by the pain that they're carrying over thousands of generations, and bringing them into that frequency has possibilities that Jyotian Devi saw and experienced. So,
And heal
um,
or transform?
her experience was very interesting, and I'm not sure I can answer that question. What was transformed was people who were the victims were saying, "You've heard us for the first time. We feel heard. We feel supported for the first time." So the what we call the evil person that one brings in may not necessarily change them, but it has an effect on the people that they have harmed in a way that one couldn't imagine. Um, so it supports the whole world in a different, an unexpected way. And maybe it for the bad guys' next life, maybe it will have um, affected them later, but the immediate one was it took the weight off of the victims. I guess is what how I'm trying to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. God bless you.
Thank you.
There's so much wisdom and understanding from all of you. Okay. Ved Bachan,
Satnam,
Satnam, we're so glad to see you back.
happy to be here. And also, I let Japa know, but wanted to share that I was in New Mexico and I stopped by to see Baba Siri Chand at the statue. And it was so beautiful to be with him there and see all the roses around the statue, and the bees were around the roses. It was like circles of light surrounding.
Wow.
I was sending you guys all the energy from Baba Siri Chand.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what did you find or what happened?
Yeah, so a song came, which I think I'll share at the end. But the first part was just words were coming through, like relax, playful, let your truth out, singing, dancing, smiling like a child. Stay open to receive information from credible sources, like Baba Siri Chand was pointing up, like to our intergalactic family. And then showed an image of me just like loving the earth, like being with Mother Earth and honoring her in kinship with the animals, plants, and terrestrial life. Invoking gratitude and appreciation for every single moment, whether it's feeling the sun on my skin or getting time with my nieces and nephews, or seeing the blooming flowers or the vegetables that have come up out of the ground, like all these little miracles that are happening in life. Don't hold back from shining your light and sharing your gifts. Sue was saying how where attention goes, energy flows. So focus on what you want to create. So creative solutions, creating spaces to uplift and elevate, to shift anger, frustration, sadness, to shift, anything that we're wanting to shift so that we can have space for a new way forward. From the inside out, we create space from the inside out. And then I heard just Yogi Bhajan saying, it's your birthright to be happy and healthy. In the sutra, vibrate the cosmos, and the cosmos clear the way. So as we vibrate mantras and sing, and also the frequencies that we're talking about, as we invoke those frequencies, we vibrate with them. So forgiveness, it's our birthright to call it in, to like ask to feel forgiveness, to ask to feel the frequency of unconditional love, not as a concept, but to feel it in ourselves, and to experience it as a vibration, as a pulse moving through us. And from vibrating with those frequencies, new life is born, new ideas are born, new communities are born, new solutions are born out of the darkness. And the song that came it's a song about building hoop, which hoop is community. So community of like-hearted, like-minded beings that are coming together to create, to dance, to move, to shift the ancestral patterns that are here with us at this time. We can't do it alone, so we need the group together. We need the cosmic beings. We need the Mother Earth. We need all of our hearts in drumbeat, heartbeat together. So yeah, this song is about building hoop. We are building hoop, and our prayers, they ride on the wind, the wind. And our prayers ride on the wind. We are building hoop, and our prayers, they ride on the wind, the wind. And our prayers ride on the wind. Cry a little, cry a little, cry. Sigh a little, sigh a little, sigh. We are building hoop, and our prayers, they ride on the wind, the wind. And our prayers ride on the wind.
How wonderful. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Now, did you, is that original for you?
Not that one, no.
Oh, okay. So is there a place where you can put that recording on our recording? Can we do that? Japa
Like,
Saraswati?
I will isolate I'll put a time signature so that everybody can go and listen to that individual song on the recording. How would that be?
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I was immediately thinking that I'll identify the song so that people can jump right to it and hear it.
Oh, good. Well, that's great. And it can also come from our text, right? Japa Saraswati?
Yes. Oh yeah, well I'll send it with the time signature on the text. I'll do that. It'll take me I've got a lot of driving today, so I'll send it out, but it's always there, but I'll do it a little bit after today's meditation. I'm in Massachusetts now, and I woke up in Maine and I have some business to do, and then I'm gonna drive right back to Maine very quickly. I left the cat up there and I'm gonna hurry home.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do the recording. It's there at all times, but I'll send out the link maybe tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
You know, with Ved Bachan, Ved Bachan, I really love what it's more than a just whatever, but his pure community with loving and dancing and singing and having fun. That was
yes,
great.
That
yes.
was so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Japa Saraswati.
My message was kind of messy, but
Okay.
so it started with you asked what was the tool for that Baba gave us from last week and the week before. And the image that I had was the fish who jumped out of water and then the bird who went jumping into the water to go fishing. You know, that there was this sort of interchange, almost like the yin and the yang, the water creature going into the air and the air creature going into the water, and how frightening that must be for those creatures as they take a leap completely out of their known world. The eagle jumping under the water to try to go fishing, and the fish jumping out of the water. Um, so my message then was to take flight, and what I felt was fear is what's holding us back, what's holding me back from making that big cosmic leap. And I was like, oh man, fear. And I said, what am I afraid of? Like, what's the fear? And I felt myself sort of whining at Baba Siri Chand saying, oh, but I don't want to be a light worker. You know, like I don't want to do the hard work. I just want to be, and I don't know, be lazy, be indulgent, be not doing tapas. And what I heard was that with great power comes great responsibility. And and I felt that my life would be less significant. Or the part of the message that I got was that my life would be less significant if I was not a light worker, and that being a light worker in that way is my Satnam, or my true self, because it's got the most potential for growth and excellence. You know, like I can do like my little everyday self thing and be gratified in my journey, I guess, but really where the potential for real excellence, for something really of benefit is being a light worker, doing that hard work. And then I thought about what you said, that a third of the people will be dead and a third of the people will be crazy. And it really makes sense, like I think that we've only just begun to see the death that started with COVID. I think that there will be more ramifications of war and genocide and just poverty and not having the same access to medical care and water and basic necessities that we had, really just like 4 years ago, and women's health that is being totally eroded. And so, like, that makes sense, like about one third dying. And then I think one third crazy, but also in denial. That crazy part of my message was that crazy is like being in denial over. I don't know if you guys ever read the book Absalom, Absalom, by William Faulkner, but it follows this guy Sutpen who he builds this enormous mansion before the Civil War, and the Civil War just like runs through the South, and his wife Rosa, they described her as being like a butterfly in the wind, that she just like couldn't grasp what was happening in the wake of the Civil War. And they were in a really isolated place. So this woman was completely isolated without a lot of stimulation, and in poor health. And I think of that as being like almost this great break between one reality and the other reality. And this woman never had to face the world, without the kind of privilege that she had experienced before the Civil War. And I feel like that's what she was in denial of. But I see that image like sometimes in myself, like the butterfly on the wind, like it's something's a force of nature and I had no idea it was there. And then I'm just totally um not only swept up, but Rosa was so in denial about it that it was like she was blind to the world beyond the end of her own nose. And that's what I feel, that at least a portion of those one third crazy are going to be in denial about losing their position of privileges. Um, because that's what I'm sensing, is that with the Aquarian age, that there's not going to be as much like white privilege, not as much um in just male privilege, not as much just these inherently taken for granted things that like everybody was privileged. Now I guess I feel like nobody's going to be privileged except for the billionaires. And that there are a lot of, like, I would say, middle class and formerly middle class white men who are going to be a little bit crazy, kind of stamping their feet and saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like the butterfly on the wind with Rosa Sutpen. And so we're going to see, like, I also feel that it's not all crazy, like a psychiatric thing or like delusion, but also like drug dependency, that a lot of people are going to be turning toward illicit substances. And like I myself, before I would have an occasional glass of wine, nothing over the top, but I noticed that, like, I said to myself, "Oh, I'll get a bottle of wine for the house and then I'll have it for, a nice cool summer night." And I find that, like, I have not wanted it at all. Like I'll say, "Oh yeah, tonight I'll have a glass of wine by the lake." Not at all. And I'm just like foregoing it. Not just foregoing it, but I find that I recognize that it would be, for me, a misuse of energy, like a distraction or something. Not that it would be the end of the world to do something like that, but I guess what I'm saying is that there are going to be many people, many people who are going to be so sad and devastated about loss of all manner of privileges, that they're going to turn to drugs and alcohol in order to avoid this. And that, I guess, part of my journey as a light worker is being on that higher vibration. And that's part of the Sat Nam, is like not being distracted, not letting my energy be diffused by doing something that would fritter my energy away, basically. And just being, aware and cautious of how I use my personal energy, because I guess I'm feeling part of what I'm feeling, not just with the fear, but part of what I'm afraid of is not having enough energy to do the things that I want to do. And so, yeah, that's like the fear of scarcity in that way. um and recognizing about doing right use of energy and doing good energy management in order to shepherd myself. Oh, and that was also part of it, was really shepherding myself with great love and kindness. That fear for the outside often makes people feel anger on the inside, that like fear is another form of anger, and that creates an acidic environment within ourselves, within our body environment. And to really focus on doing great love and kindness to the self to help neutralize those acids, and bring us back to that nice place of balance. Because otherwise it will be, what I'm hearing is that it'll be really easy to get tipped off balance, that's part of the game. I'm feeling like that there's what do you call those gladiator games where they would try to knock the other guy off the pedestal? I keep seeing that, and it's not just about staying. Baba says it's easy to stay on the pedestal as long as you stay centered and grounded and like basically not distracted. But there's going to be all of these temptations to react and to explode, and to have like big acidic reactions on the inside of our body, and that's how we're going to be susceptible to the noises going on outside. And to just really whenever those noises start to happen, just show great love and kindness to the self and lavish the self in that. And in that way, we're going to build up our own electromagnetic field, like a big it's not that we need to be protected from the outside world, but like that our electromagnetic field will be so strong that we're going to just withstand the storm better. I guess that was my message.
Well, it's a good one. It's a big one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was good.
Yes, this was good for everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siri Gian. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Really big messages today.
Yes, they are. Yeah, Baba Siri Chand is good to bring those things to us. Thank you. Okay, so Japa Saraswati, will you lead our song?
Sure. May the long time sun shine on you. All love surround you. and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. Sat. And bless you all. This transformation is really important and change, totally change for the shift. So let it happen. God bless of you, all of you. Take care. Bless you.
Yeah.
Sat.
Thank you, Siri
Bless you
Gian.
all. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Next
Satnam.
week.